Do you like your boss? How's your workplace? Is it toxic? Let's talk about this. Workplace expert Joel Patterson is back with us. Joel, welcome in. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, JT. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I saw the title of the article here in the headliner. Boomer bosses need to get with the times. Is this more prevalent with older bosses than younger bosses about, my way or the highway and yelling at their staff members? I thought this was across the board. It really wasn't an issue of age. It was an issue of being, a jerk or not.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's easy to place that on older people, and I'm basically a boomer, so they're talking about me. But anybody can be a victim of just a jerk, and unfortunately, they're still running around in business these days. The point is that they've got to be focused on developing healthy relationships, whether they're in the same generation or not, and recognizing the way you get the most out of people isn't by yelling, isn't by even managing necessarily, it's by coaching and investing in them as people, investing them in what their skill set is, recognizing that the best way for them to achieve results is for you to get out of the way and let them do their job, but by supporting them in everything that they do, empower them to make decisions. It's simple to say those things. It's much more difficult to actually do them. But given the labor market these days, and it's still very challenging to find and retain quality people, the last thing you need in your business is somebody that just demeans and yells at people, because that stuff will run rampant once it gets going in an organization.
I would think today with social media and TikTok and all the videos that are posted these days, you're obviously going to be busted at some point if you videotape an aggressive, angry boss. You better be planning to say, hasta la vista, adios, I'm out, if you in fact do that. But boy, you're right with the workplace the way it is. There are jobs out there, and people don't have to stand for this much more. Are people learning more, and the dichotomy is shifting as far as how bosses handle the staff, and a lot of requests and actually demands from employees these days as far as workplace life balance, everything that happened and came out of the pandemic is still alive and well, and it seems to be an employee's world these days. So have bosses made the adjustments to better accommodate employees, and that includes quit being such an aggressive dictator?
I think most have. Either that or they just don't know what the internet is. It's kind of impossible not to see some of those stories. So I think that there's also people out there that just don't care. Whether it's because that's how they were trained, or maybe they're just on a power trip. The people that I've experienced over the years like that are usually, they've got a little sense of power and they don't want to let that go, and they want everybody to know they have it. And that stuff, it runs out. It does, especially these days, because you will get recorded. And what those people don't realize is the damage they do. I go back to my first job out of college. This was in 1997, and I had a boss that basically told me that I wasn't an A player and that I wasn't, doing a good job, and I was working my tail off. And I remember that. I remember that. It was 25 years ago, and people that get in those positions and treat others unfairly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everybody just has to kid gloves. You've got to be critical and give good feedback, but you've also got to be able to do it with a conscience.
I think you said a key word in coach, as opposed to acting like a dictator, and you've got the boss title, so that empowers you to be, forceful with your staff. Not the best way to go about it. If you put the title coach on your business card or in your mindset on dealing with your employees, I think coaching people along and encouraging them and, edifying them, you're going to get much greater results, and people feel encouraged to come to work every day. Like you said, you've still got to have some constructive criticism, but in more of a coaching manner than a yelling manner. I think you're right on that. So, yeah, you're riding to work this morning, bosses. Which category do you fit into, dictator or coach? Think about it before you walk in that door. Hey, Joel, thanks a lot. I appreciate you, buddy. It's 7:49 now. Alabama's Morning News.